So in the last winch episode I shot, we did a 48.3 Harken winch. This is a Lewmar 42, and from anything that I can read or any of the diagrams I've looked at, these are pretty much a carbon copy of the Lewmar 43. So a lot of boats, I suppose from the 80s and 90s, had Lewmar 43s. From any of the Sigmas that I've raced on, or any of those kind of boats, kind of in the 30 to 35 foot range, had these as jib winches. So I'm hoping this will be a lot of help to someone. Now, don't be discouraged that this is a 42. As I said, the 43s are very, very, very similar from anything that I've seen. I've used a lot of Lewmar 43s and I can't tell the difference. So I'm going to take this apart and I'm going to show you the internal workings. Remember that this is Imperial as well. So don't go at this with a metric head, because you'll do whatever someone has done here and they've kind of screwed them up a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to take this apart and take pictures, basically the same as we did with the Harken winch. Take pictures, put it back together, see how it looks. As a comparison, it's quite stiff. The pawls sound a bit lazy. It's just a bit naff, to be honest. So we're going to take it apart, rebuild it, see how it looks then. So we just need to remove these 4 screws at the top, and that basically holds on the top cover. So once you have those screws off, you can take off the top cover. Now there's a kind of a washer here that breaks into 2. You just take that off, and then that's basically what holds in the self-tailing mechanism. So it's just splined on, and that's the self-tailing mechanism. So when you get in this far, you'll notice these 3 machine screws here. Don't bother with those, because all they do is hold the top cap on, which holds this this guy here from the self-tailing mechanism. So I wouldn't worry about taking those off. They seize very badly and they don't come out, trust me. Same deal as before. So make sure everything's sitting in a bit of degreaser to soak and keep it separate. So on this winch, it's actually quite a similar winch to the Harken winch. I mean, a winch can only work really so many ways. We have our main body, or our drum, or we have a drum, we have a main body and we have bearings on which the drum rolls, and then we have a set of gears. So it's not rocket science at all. So we take off our roller bearings. I remember what I said about petrol. Yeah, petrol absolutely will eat the shite out of this stuff, especially that one. So this is where this winch differs a little bit. We have a key that actually holds in the shaft, one of the main shafts, which is this, and you need to take that key out. It just pushes out like this, and you can see that it's just like a keyway in the shaft up here, and then this guy can slide out. I mean, you can see how rotten this stuff is. I mean, it's not been looked after very well. And then after that's taken out, we can start pushing this out. So there's a pin here that holds in this gear. So this pin is just the shaft, like that. And then our gears can come out like that. And then we'll have another one, but it doesn't go all the way through. So we just need to get like a fingernail or something under here and wiggle it out, like that. And then that just houses these last few bits. And that's it. I mean, these winches are so much easier to work on than the Harken winch, because there's not so any fiddly spindle bearings, and they're horrible. So basically we just need to give this a good clean. I mean, it's absolutely filthy. It's so sticky and it's got a real build-up of nasty stuff. So just give that a quick clean in diesel. Make sure you get all the crap off of it, and then we can go back to reassembly. But just remember that you have to be very careful about how these winches are put together. Take lots of photos and make sure you don't lose any bits, because yeah, they're very expensive to replace those bits, and I'm not sure you can get them anyway. So now that we have everything cleaned up and tidy and nice and oil free, it's time to put it back together. And as I was saying before, you should have all your pictures and you should know how this goes back together, so there shouldn't be any surprises. Same as in the Harken winch, I've changed all the springs for the pawls, so they should act nice and nice and free. And also we put pole oil on them as well. So now that they're all oiled up, we can put that back together too. So before you put everything back together, make sure that you grease it all well. And I've heard that the best way to do this is to use landing grease, but I'm actually going to put it in the microwave to heat it up a bit. I haven't tried this before, so I'm just curious to see what happens. I'd say maybe a couple of seconds, maybe 10 seconds, and it'll, because right now it's hard to move, hard to spread around. So I'm going to stick that in the microwave and see how it looks. It's actually way better. Yeah, that works really nicely. It's a lot easier to spread. Yeah, so give it about 10 seconds in the microwave and you'll get a really nice layer of grease on the winch. So there we have it. We have two freshly serviced Lewmar winches for the halyards. So I've attached the exploded diagram of these winches in the link below, and I've linked to the pawl springs and the pawls that you can get from the UK. They're very, very cheap. They're about 3p each or something. Also, I'll put in links for the different kind of greases and oils I've used as well. It's a very, very simple thing to do, and I think everyone should be able to do this, because when you're out in the middle of the water and your winches have failed, you want to be able to strip it apart and have a look, see why it's broken, and fix it potentially. And also, why would you pay somebody, I don't know how much their going cost is to service one of these, but why would you do that when you can do it yourself in half an hour and a bit of swearing? So anyway, that's all for this winch, and in the next few videos I'm hoping to strip down this Sea Tiger. So this is a Simpson Lawrence 555 Sea Tiger windlass, and I have all the bits for it, and I'm hoping to break it down and repair it and get it back functioning, because it's a brilliant manual winch and they're pretty hardy, old school engineering, and they just work. So I'm going to get this back to functioning condition as well and do a video on that. Anyway, thanks for watching.